Hello, we are 5 Design for Social Innovation graduate students from the School of Visual Arts who have partnered with Ryan Smith of Micromidas to create the Transparency Project, a project designed to address the gap between consumers and the complex supply chains that provide the packaging they purchase. Today, people are gaining an increased interest in the consequences of their choices as consumers, while at the same time, a growing access to information is causing large brand owners to be more mindful of their supply chains. Yet, as these two trends develop, there is little that connects the consumer's increasing interest to the knowledge and transparency that large brand owners are gaining. This gap is our key point of intervention. We hope to address this gap by creating a reliable, accessible, and relatable resource that makes it easy to understand where packaging comes from. This resource will tell consumers where plastic packaging comes from, who made and handled the plastic packaging, how this information relates to the consumer, and where the plastic packaging will go after the consumer is finished with it. Our resource will be composed of 3 elements. The first is an origin label designed to pique the interest of the consumer, show them basic provenance information, and invite them to scan a code. The code will take them to our second element, a 360-degree video where they can become immersed at various points of the supply chain, from the farm, to manufacturing, to compost. The video will allow the consumer to put a face to otherwise abstract locales and stakeholders within the supply chain. It will also give those stakeholders a chance to share their good practices. With their interest piqued and a more solid grasp of the actual origins of their packaging, the video ends by directing the consumer towards the third and final element, a website which gives the consumer access to an interactive relationship map that shows precisely how they are at the center of the supply chain. The map allows the consumer to easily visualize their place and see where their packaging has come from and who has handled it. The consumer can explore specific points or relationships, or they can simply view the map at its highest level to get a basic understanding. As an added bonus, the map can be toggled to display all the various stakeholders on a geographical map so the consumer can follow the actual journey that their packaging took to reach them. The campaign surrounding this resource can be broken down into 2 stages. The first stage is where the consumer is introduced to the idea of packaging provenance and given concrete examples of the stakeholders involved in their packaging. This is achieved through the use of origin labels and immersive stakeholder videos. The second stage is where the consumer is able to see how they personally fit into the supply chain and what impacts their purchases have on this larger system. This stage is also designed with the possibility of living on as a permanent independent resource that consumers can regularly visit to learn more about the specifics of their packaging. To illustrate this resource and how all its elements work together in the wild, we are going to introduce Taylor. Taylor goes shopping at her local grocer, where a significant number of her purchases come in plastic packaging. One of those products catches Taylor's eye, because on the product is an origin label revealing the provenance of its packaging rather than its contents. She is surprised to learn that this plastic comes not from an oil rig, but instead from a farm. After scanning the label's QR code with her phone, she is shown a video. The video introduces her to Robert. Robert manages the farm, which supplies the corn byproducts from which Taylor's packaging is derived. Robert guides Taylor through a full 360-degree view tour of the farm. He explains where the farm is located, who he employs, and the facilities and processes that go into separating the corn byproducts for use in creating plastics. He explains how the materials he sends away to be made into plastic would have otherwise simply been considered waste. After the tour is complete, Robert explains to Taylor that she can discover how he and all the other stakeholders are connected to her by following the video's link to an accompanying website. When Taylor arrives at the website, the first thing she sees is herself, represented as a single node on a map. The map grows to show all the stakeholders, including Robert and his farm, and how they connect to Taylor. She is able to visualize how the packaging she holds in her hand has made its way to her and where it will go after she has used it. Taylor is able to select any of the relationships that interest her and explore them at her own pace. In the future, Taylor can come back to this website to explore the relationships and provenance behind other purchases she makes, thus giving her a sense of understanding and trust when it comes to the packaging she uses. Taylor also now has a better understanding of how far-reaching the impacts of her purchasing decisions go, and she has the resources necessary to continue to explore this complex network as she discovers new products.